This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Welcome to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Werner, licensed mental health counselor in the state of Florida. Moments of Clarity's mission is to educate and end the stigma on mental health through the inspirational stories of our exceptional guests. You can join in the show by calling Tiffany toll-free at 866-826-1340 or on Facebook and Twitter at MOC with Tiffany. Now, here's Tiffany Werner.
Hi, thanks for listening. This is Moments of Clarity. My name is Tiffany Werner. I am a licensed mental health counselor, and I'm your host. And today we're going to be talking about residential treatment, substance abuse, all of these things. While going through this pandemic, a lot of things are getting really out of hand, really scary for a lot of people. And the fear of the unknown is really getting to the public more than we've ever gone through. And before I introduce my guest, I want to say hi to Ed. Ed, how are you doing?
Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. I was seeing your face. I'll be there soon.
You know, I used to look forward to the weekend, but the weekend there's nothing to do anymore.
I know, right?
It's like Friday, big deal.
I've even taken clients on the weekend now. So it's just the same thing because the kids are home. Everyone is virtually homeschooled right now. Everybody is just stay at home. It's like, I don't even know what day it is sometimes. Same deal.
And pretty much if it's been on TV, I've seen it.
Well, I'm sad for you. You shouldn't watch too much TV. It's really poisonous right now. Because everything, you just never know what you're watching. And then, like, the biggest thing right now is Tiger King. It's just like, even that's just weird. But I don't know. Yeah, so send me anything you've seen my way. I need to see some positive stuff on TV too. But my guest today is actually from one of our sponsors, and one of our sponsors that helps Moments of Clarity keep going right now, and it's Winmore Healthcare of Clearwater. And my guest today is a licensed clinical social worker, and she works at Winmore and has been a licensed clinical social worker and been in the field for over 21 years. And she's been with Winmore for 2 years and working with people that are trying to seek help and Baker Acts and all sorts of things going on. And it's a really great facility located in Clearwater. And I want to welcome to Moments of Clarity, Kim Trainer. Hi, Kim.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. And thank you for everything you're doing. It must be not so settling working at a residential facility these days.
Yeah. Boy, that's an understatement. So, yeah, we're literally having to think outside of the box now. You know, I used to think I know what I was going to be expected every day to come into. However, that's been taken away from everybody. So even we who are professionals, Tiffany, just like you, we don't know how to proceed because we've never been here before. So it's literally recreating the normal.
Mm-hmm.
Or recreating a different normal, yeah.
You're in residential, which I was thinking about that when I knew you're going to be my guest. I'm thinking, wow, you know, I'm private practice. I've worked residential quite a bit in correctional facilities and everything. And the common cold goes rapid within those facilities anyway. But the pandemic going on and everything. If you have a laptop on or anything, Kim, can you mute that, please?
I do not.
Okay, just make it. I don't know what that is, Ed. But
Oh, that was my chair. Sorry.
So, but working in a residential facility must be different because do you have to wear masks or how is it contained? How are you guys checked and how everything is different? Private practice, we could do virtually now because of everything with COVID going on. And how is that affecting you and your work right now?
Well, we do have a shortage of PPE, personal protective equipment. We've gotten a couple of orders, but we're not where we would like to be. Mm-hmm. So what we've enlisted is a screening area that we've locked down the facility to only one entrance and exit, and there's a nurse standing by that does a really stringent screening, which consists of a questionnaire, and then we do a temperature check to get into the hospital. And we also do that with our admissions. So we've started wearing, like, some people have made homemade masks, which are wonderful because some of them are really adorable. And actually they work well. I have a mask on my desk, but, I'll wear it if I have to go onto a unit and to sit in front of somebody just for their sake, because it protects them. But we've been really blessed as to not, we don't have anybody yet, that has failed the screening.
Well, that's reassuring. But we have so many cases in Pinellas County, you never know. But
yeah,
and nobody should be denied mental health care just because of that either. So it's really hard to determine what to do. I mean, being on the front line, I admire you and thank you for what you're doing.
Well, yeah, it's what we do, right? The mental health piece is probably the most important, especially right now, because they've been upended. That with the lack of shelters that are willing to take patients right now. And, I'll give you an example of, we had a patient come in and they had been to another hospital and they were given a test because they had like a dry cough and a little bit of a fever. They were giving the test and then they were just said to go home and quarantine for 14 days. Well, this person didn't have a home. So, I don't believe that the, general public they don't understand that part of it. They can't just go home and quarantine.
Right.
Because they don't have a home to go to. So there's going to be a huge issue with that, with getting people a place to stay and making sure that they're safe. And if they do have if they do have it, what she turned out to be negative. But it's what are we going to do at that point?
Yeah, it's really weird because it's allergy season, so everyone's got a sniffle or a cough. Not everyone, but a lot. I mean, it's allergy season too. It's spring and pollen's in the air, and I mean, I see the ducks outside the window mating. So we have to take that into consideration and not turn away, especially mental health, and just because of a cough or a sniffle, I mean, you just never know. And I think that this virus and this pandemic and this social isolation is really affecting how we socially interact with others. And it's going to affect how we interact with others in the future as well, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. And we're not in the business to deny patients care. That's not who we are. So we're always going to take them. The idea is, how are we going to treat the patients that need the medical help? We have to medically get them the medical help they need, and we will still keep the patient to treat the mental health part. Yeah.
So you're located, it's a residential hospital. Winmore Healthcare is located in Clearwater, Florida. And like I said before, one of the sponsors of Moments of Clarity. A Baker Act facility, psychiatric help, residential, substance abuse. Talk a little bit about what you guys do there as well, please.
Oh, I love it. Okay. So Winmore Hospital is 144 beds. It has the possibility for 144 beds. We have multiple units that are separated by whatever it is, what the reason for their admission. So we have a military unit that is active duty military and first responders, which is a wonderful, that treats substance use disorder and PTSD and any of the other issues that go on for being active duty or first responders. Then we have...
so that means you're a TRICARE provider, right?
Correct, yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, Medicare, TRICARE, every commercial insurance, Medicaid. Trying to think. Yeah.
Everything.
So,
okay.
We pretty much, I don't think there's any that we do not take. So then we have a crisis units, a few of those. So now, just because the COVID is here doesn't stop Baker Acts from happening. And patients that need help, that are psychotic, that might be homicidal or suicidal, or, that are schizophrenic and been off their meds. So we definitely want to treat them and want them safe, because we want the society to be safe. So we have a crisis unit where they still come in on a Baker Act, which is a 72-hour hold for psychiatric, if they're a danger to themselves or others. So we have two to three of those units. And then we have what we call a general psych unit, and that's if somebody needs a med change and needs to come in because we want to watch for side effects and just needs a little extra support, they can go up to that unit. And we have a dual diagnosis substance use disorder unit. We use Subutex to detox off of opiates, and then we have the normal taper for alcohol. And they can stay detox anywhere from 3 to 7 to 10 days, depending on what they're detoxing from and how it's going. So that's our dual diagnosis detox unit. And then we have what we call an ATP program, which is an addiction treatment program, where a patient just finishing detox can stay a little longer and get some added relapse prevention and plans to be able to safely stay sober. The bright side, we have AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, and Narcotics Anonymous that usually come into our hospital every night at 8 o'clock, and COVID has put a stop to that, where we have the hospital on lockdown for any kind of visitors. So those organizations, can I talk about that for a sec?
Sure.
Is that okay? Okay, so the wonderful people, the committee members on those for those self-help groups, they have been kind enough to give us Zoom meetings that we can offer our patients while they're here. So we can set up a Zoom meeting for them where they won't be seen, but however they can see the AA meeting or the NA meeting or the CA meeting, and they can hear them, but HIPAA is safe, where they don't see our patients or hear them. So it's a way for them to get, to get some of the recovery piece before we discharge them, because we do want them to follow up with something when they leave here.
Right.
So that's our hospital. So I don't think that there's a diagnosis that we haven't seen or been unable to treat.
It's amazing. And during this time especially, there's a lot of patients that are suffering in silence without their medications, because I do the outpatient piece. So I probably refer to you guys a lot, and that when they come out of Winmore, that's when I step up and see them after the fact as outpatient, to keep them stable. And but there's a lot of my clients are running out of their medications and unable to get their doctor's appointments, and some psychiatrists are not seeing new patients virtually, and it's really hard for a lot of clients to get medications, and some are on withdrawing from heavy duty stuff like lithium, mood stabilizers, antipsychotics, antidepressants, stuff like that, Abilify, Triliptol, you name it, and stuff that they're not controlled substances. I don't understand why they can't just get refilled for helping, make a mood stabilizer or antidepressant or, SSRI or anything, like just refillable, for a year, because it's not the kind of drug you sell in the street that people are using they're not controlled narcotics or anything like that. So it's just, and then you add the quarantine and the social isolation and virtual sessions rather than face to face, and they're heading your way now because it's just a lot of feeling like they're slipping through the cracks. They're dropping the ball on some of the healthcare going on right now because of lack of resources, or that everyone's not able to do their job effectively, I guess, so to speak.
Correct.